So the FIRE method, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retiring Early. And when I found the movement kind of in 2010, I guess it's almost a decade now. So when I was 17, I found the movement. And it basically stands for you become extremely frugal and you find ways to reduce your living costs. And then you save up enough money to build a financial independence portfolio that produces passive income that entirely covers your living expenses for the rest of your life. So you live off the earnings from your portfolio.
How did you hear about this? I mean, you created this method, you say, but what inspired it? Was it something going on in your life? Because I do find it fascinating. You associate it with freedom, and you say it's about buying back your freedom.
Yeah. So, the FIRE method, it really runs around 3 levers, right? So it's what you spend, what you earn, and then the difference on that. So the return on the investment. Those are the 3 things you have in control. And so you when you think about it, you got this freedom to choose to do whatever you want to do with your life. And the idea is that the small sacrifices, so instead of going to Starbucks every day, you might go to Starbucks, every few months. Instead of going out to the movies or going out every night, and you might just, eat in and have friends over. So you might change your life a little bit, and it pays off in a big way, and then you can buy your freedom.
But so the FIRE method was something that was already in place. You gave it an extreme makeover, and that you kind of eliminated everything. You bought your first house at age 19 the house was $200,000.
It was.
Where did you get the money to buy your first house?
Yeah, so at 19, I was in college, finishing my second year. We'd saved up some money, we'd been working. I worked full-time while I went to college, so that was able to save a bit of money. I had some scholarships, and then I also had some access to student debt as well. And that's designed to be used for tuition and housing and things like that. And I actually used the debt to basically get housing.
Wait a minute, so you took your student loan money and you put it down on a house?
Yeah, and
is that
savings.
Legal? Because when I signed my Perkins loan and my Pell Grant, it was supposed to go to school, but you worked the system.
So effectively, I got through school debt-free. And so the way I got through my 4-year degree at the Richard Ivey School of Business debt-free was by working really hard in savings. So I used that money that I would have used for my tuition, borrowed the money for the tuition, and used that money instead to buy a house.
Okay, so you bought the house. So that was your first investment.
Yes.
That was $200,000 home value.
Yep.
Alyse, you've been married now how many years?
2014?
We've been married since
Okay, I didn't expect that answer to be that hard. Okay, you've been...
Can we count how long we've been together?
It's gone so long, it's so fast, as they say. You could keep numbers. I ask you that because a big part of your life changed when you got married. Mike, for example, bans Starbucks. But he doesn't just say, babe, no Starbucks. He guilts you a little bit. What does he say about Starbucks?
That if I give up Starbucks, I will not have to work for 2 years. It'll save working for 2 years.
And he also equates it to time spent with your children?
Time spent with my children, yeah. At the time, obviously, we didn't have children, but we had talked about having a family. So if I gave up going to Starbucks or eating out or doing some of the luxurious things, I could quit my job and be a stay-at-home mom and be the most present person for our children.
Looking at what you do right now to save money and to keep this retirement at age 24, no rent. You rented rooms to pay mortgage. What is that? What do you mean by that?
It's called house hacking. It's this idea that you can rent hack or house hack. It's the idea that basically you get a space that's bigger than you need. So you might buy a place that has extra bedrooms or an extra unit, and you rent that space out. It covers your mortgage, or in the renting situation, you rent a bigger house than you need, and you have roommates that help offset the cost, thereby living for free. So we've done that since we were
So basically
18.
you had the other people in the home paying the mortgage.
They would pay market rent, and we'd find a deal on a property, rent it out, live in it, and then share the room cost.
Right now you have someone who lives in the lower level of your home and they pay you $2,500 a month.
Yeah, so the reason we did that is because we bought a house that's bigger than we need, and a great area for our daughters to go to school. And the way we're able to live in that house is it's a walkout, so we have a basement apartment.
You bike to work and you carpool.
And also took the bus.
And take the bus. Okay, your income lived on 50% of your income at the time. You were saving 100% of your income, Mike, correct?
Correct.
And what was your income at the time, Alyse?
$30,000 roughly.
So you lived on the $15,000. Did you have children at the time? And how did you make it on $15,000? A couple of 2. I mean, that is statistically, I think, right close to the poverty line. And forgive me if I don't know the exact number. But a family of 2 on $15,000 for the year. Did you never go to the movies?
We would still go out to the movies just, every few months.
Instead of doing it every week or every day, we would do these things as a special occasion, or we would reward ourselves. So if something big happened in our life, we would use that as an opportunity to go out for dinner.